This time, I will give my President's report. Are we there yet? Now, there's a phrase most of us can relate to. Who hasn't heard it? Kids in the car, are we there yet? When will winter end? Are we there yet? Many in this area, last December, remember the wicked winter storm that caused extended power outages. We're saying, are we there yet? Switch to the bigger picture. Inflation, supply chain issues, challenges to our co-op governance, the end of the pandemic struggles. Are we there yet? Well, members, friends, and colleagues, unfortunately, we are not. And we are not exactly sure when we will be. But I can guarantee you this, we will not stop fighting the battle until we get there. Tonight, we will hear details from our General Manager, our Chief Financial Officer, on how material and labor costs are driving our current rate increase. We will hear about the challenges of supplying the essential items needed for maintaining safe and reliable service. We've all heard about some legislation that's being presented, hurdles that are threatening affordability and co-op governance in the future. I'm going to focus on how we are going to make it to where we're going, and we always have together by relying on our underlying co-op values and principles. Before we do that, each year I feel it's important to evaluate the core board responsibilities. We must meet while overseeing our cooperative. It's the board's job to represent members, establish policies, hire and supervise management, oversee co-op resources and assets, preserve the organization's character, assess the cooperative's performance, and keep members informed. I believe we've held true to our responsibilities in 2022. We are always striving to keep these 7 responsibilities in focus as we execute our duties as your board of directors. Co-op members are the most resilient and innovative people around. That's how it all started. We can't forget, erase, or cancel struggles and victories that built electric co-ops across the country since the 1930s. It's why the cooperative model is so much different than other businesses. We were built by our members, for members, because no one else would do it. Our electric co-op pioneers who built Lake Country Power's 3 predecessor cooperatives, consolidating and becoming Lake Country Power in 1997, took it upon themselves to put poles in the ground because the investor-owned utilities found no profit in running electricity to the country. And here we are, almost 100 years later, living by them same values and principles that make us different and make a difference in the communities we live in. Our membership is changing. However, as so it is the perception of the cooperative, those pioneers who built the lines, started the business, and ultimately hired employees to run the business know the importance of why we exist. But their numbers are slowly dwindling. Today we see many see the co-op as just another utility bill. We need to teach the history and share the principles of what makes co-op life truly special. Our co-op values speak to what sets us apart in the world: integrity, safety and quality, innovation, communication, teamwork, and respect. Those aren't run-of-the-mill qualities. In a world that is challenging our traditional values every day, we need to embrace them even more. Furthermore, the principles that guide us are as important today as they ever were. The 7 cooperative principles are what we define our existence, our mission and goals. They too set us apart from the rest. The first principle is open and voluntary membership. Membership is open to all who can reasonably use the service and are willing to accept the responsibilities of membership regardless of race, religion, gender, or economic circumstances. Number 2, democratic member control. This is where all members have a say in the direction of the co-op. It's also where there are currently efforts to limit this self-governance by certain groups and legislative actions. You'll hear more about that tonight. We are controlled by our members with an elected board of directors who participate in setting policies and making decisions. Representatives are elected, like which will happen tonight, and they will be held accountable to lead. We have equal voting rights, 1 member, 1 vote. The third cooperative principle, members' economic participation. All members contribute financially to maintain and ensure the vitality of the service. Co-op principle 4, autonomy and independence. Cooperatives are autonomous, self-help organizations controlled by their members. 5, education, training, and information, essential to contribute to the development of this organization. 6, cooperation among cooperatives. We succeed by working together with other like-minded entities. Now my favorite, number 7, concern for community. Co-ops work for sustainability, development of their communities through policies supported by the members. We have 2 programs that really highlight this principle. They are Operation Roundup, which many of you participate in and has been helping support our community programs since 2004. 67% of all active Lake Country Power members have opted in to rounding up their electric bill to the nearest dollar each month. A little change really does mean a lot. More than $3 million has been invested locally in our communities over the past 19 years. These decisions are made quarterly by the Electric Trust Board, a committee of member volunteers, and I'd like to take a moment and thank them for their service to the co-ops. And I'm sure many of them are here tonight. So thank you, volunteer members. The second is the adoption of the Education Improvement Program. Last June in 2022, Lake Country's Board of Directors approved this new program to invest the increasing amount of unclaimed property directly into our communities. Minnesota statute allows cooperative organizations to distribute abandoned or unclaimed capital credit funds not claimed by a member after 7 years to tax-exempt organizations. I need to highlight that these funds cannot be used for Lake Country Power operations. We can't use them to help pay a power bill, to construct a pole, to clear trees, to buy equipment. None of that is allowable. We have historically and will continue to use these funds to provide scholarships to students in our service territory who are pursuing post-secondary education. And as these funds have grown over the years, there's now opportunity for Lake Country Power to do even more. The board has chosen to give back to independent school districts in our area, investing in our young students across the service territory. At our Lake Country Power February meeting, the board approved EIP grants to these 11 schools for the respective projects. And we think we have some of these in the room. I'm going to read them. With the weather tonight, we know a lot of them couldn't be here, but the ones that are here, we're going to read them all, and if you're here, please come up. Before I close, it's my pleasure to have a group of educators here tonight representing those 11 schools. Total grants of more than $390,000 are being awarded from the co-op's unclaimed capital funds. So ladies and gentlemen, please come forward as I call your school to receive your check. Thank you for your commitment to invest in our communities. And if you're here, please stay on the stage so we can get a photograph. Chisholm Public Schools. Cromwell Wright Public Schools. Ely Public Schools. Floodwood Public School. Grand Rapids Big Fork Public Schools. Hill City Public School. Mesabi East Public Schools. Northern Lights Community School in Warba. Northland Community School in Reamer. St. Louis County Schools, Southridge School, and Willow River Area Schools. Let's give them all a hand for the work they're doing at this level. Got the checks?